Good day, I'm Yuen Pau, Senator for British Columbia. It is my pleasure to offer brief remarks at the start of the ICCCASU conference. I would like to congratulate the organizers for bringing together such an impressive roster of speakers and for making possible this event despite the challenges. I wish we could be assembled in person for this conference and that friends from around the world can savor the beauty of Montreal in the summer. But there are downsides to having a conference in as pleasant a location as Montreal because of the constant lure of its attractions. So perhaps it is just as well that we are doing this by video and giving our full attention to the important discussions to come. I am intrigued by the concept of ICCCASU, which compares urbanization ideas and practices among cities in Canada, Africa, and China. There was a time when cities in the industrialized world would balk at the suggestion that they had anything to learn from counterparts in developing countries, and I'm glad that this conference rejects that premise. That said, the urbanization challenges faced in our respective countries have unique geographic, historical, political, and social contexts, and it is by first understanding those unique circumstances that we can begin to look at solutions to common challenges. I am not an expert on urbanization, but I live in a Canadian city that is considered big by Canadian standards, Vancouver, and I am acutely aware of the challenges faced by my metropolis. These include homelessness, affordable housing, congestion, decaying infrastructure, unequal access to public services, loss of community, racism, and problems of addiction and mental health. COVID-19 has exacerbated some of these problems and has exposed the differential impact of a highly contagious virus on different segments of society living in different geographies. Not to reduce all of a city's problems to one factor, but an overarching challenge for large municipalities in Canada is the relatively limited powers of big cities in making decisions about their future and crucially, raising the money to finance urban services and infrastructure. Municipalities are responsible for funding all the important services that are required for a well-functioning city, such as transit, policing and fire services, social assistance, urban infrastructure, etc. But their ability to raise money to support these activities is constrained by the provinces. This is not an easy problem to overcome because our Canadian Constitution says municipalities are creatures of the provinces. In effect, this means that provinces can determine what responsibilities municipalities must provide and how they can go about actually raising the revenue. In short, municipalities have responsibilities without commensurate power, whereas provinces have power without the responsibility to deliver municipal services. The cascading effect of this governance deficit is that municipalities cannot collect revenue from corporate or sales taxes and have to rely on much of their revenue from property taxes, which in turn makes it difficult for cities to properly tackle the problem of housing affordability. This governance problem, combined with the fact that there is really no tradition in Canada of large-scale public housing, has made the affordability problem particularly acute in our major cities. Unfortunately, the quest for easy answers to the housing problem has led to gross generalizations and simplistic solutions that can be stigmatizing for some visible minority communities. That has in turn undermined social inclusion and cohesion, which is unfortunate because these cities have historically been places where innovation and creativity flourish precisely because of the diversity of humankind that is drawn to cities. I imagine that friends from Africa and China can also point to examples of social policies and practices that lead to discrimination and repression of thought and action in their cities, all of which undermines the very essence of why cities matter. Finally, a word about environmental sustainability. It is well known that the ecological footprint of cities in terms of GHG emissions and other forms of environmental degradation far exceeds the geographic imprint of the city limits. That, in a sense, is not unexpected because the productive capacity of the city also far exceeds its physical footprint. But with climate change now an existential threat to humanity, and with the viability of some cities dependent on humanity's ability to stop global warming, municipal leaders are going to have to play a leading role in reducing their carbon emissions. If our big city leaders don't lead, there is no reason to expect that small town and rural citizens will act. This again goes back to the issue of municipal governance, and in the Canadian context, the constrained powers of cities to plan, to act, and to finance their plans and actions. Congratulations again to the organizers on this conference. I wish for you, like the cities you will be discussing, that the conference sessions will be noisy, a little chaotic, full of surprises, and totally exhilarating. That is why and how cities work, and that is how you can help us all make cities work better. Thank you.